every way nature can turn you into energy. Have you ever considered that your body is, at its core, a reservoir of stored energy? Not willpower, not drive, pure physics, pure chemistry. Every cell, every fat molecule, every gram of protein that makes up your physical form represents captured energy in nature, utterly indifferent, breathtakingly efficient, has multiple mechanisms for reclaiming each the moment your cycle concludes. Some of these processes unfold over days. Others play out across geological epochs. Some convert you into heat. One might literally turn you into light. In at least one could power an engine. I mapped out 7 distinct pathways through which nature transforms a human body into raw energy, ranked from fastest till slowest, with the kind of scientific detail most people never encountered in school. Let us get into it. Microbial decomposition. The fastest, the most universal disease. What happens to virtually every living thing on Earth, without exception. The moment biological functions cease, a microscopic takeover begins in the agents responsible were already living inside you. The human gut harbors trillions of bacteria. During life, they serve you, breaking down food, synthesizing vitamins, fending off pathogens. But the instant your immune system goes offline, that arrangement dissolves. With no defense remaining, those same bacteria begin consuming their former host from the inside out. The opening phase is called autolysis. Cellular enzymes destabilize and rupture their own membranes. Then comes putrefaction, where bacterial colonies take full command, fermenting soft tissue and releasing gases including methane, hydrogen sulfide, and carbon dioxide. It is the part that genuinely fascinates me. All of that microbial activity generates measurable thermal energy. A body undergoing active decomposition produces heat modest but real enough to warm the immediate surrounding soil. You are, quite literally, still warming the ground around you after you've gone. The liberated nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, carbon compounds migrate into the surrounding soil, where plants and fungi absorb them directly. You become biological fuel for an entire ecosystem. Verdict: the most democratic and most generous method on this list. Fast, universal, and immediately productive. Full marks. 2. The food chain. The most philosophical disease. The pathway most people instinctively avoid picturing in detail, which is exactly why EHS was examining closely. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transferred. And the most efficient transfer mechanism nature ever produced is one organism consuming another. A body left in an open environment, a forest, a savanna, any living ecosystem becomes a high-density energy package available for immediate consumption. The first responders are the large scavengers, vultures, ravens, hyenas. They prioritize soft tissue, muscle, and fat, which carry the highest caloric concentration. Every unit of energy they absorb fuels their metabolism, maintains their body temperature, powers their movement, and eventually nourishes their offspring. Your energy didn't vanish. It changed address. After the primary consumers comes a second wave. Carrion beetles, blowfly larvae, mites, each extracting additional residual energy from what remains. The final fractions transfer to soil, fungi, and bacteria. And when those organisms are consumed in turn by birds, by small mammals, by insects, your original energy signature continues propagating through the food web, diluted across generations, but never truly gone. Verdict: conceptually the most beautiful method on this list. Not disappearance, distribution. Strongly approved. 3. Biogas: the most technologically relevant. This pathway activates specifically when oxygen is eliminated from the equation. Buried at sufficient depths, submerged in stagnant water, or sealed under dense sediment, aerobic bacteria, the oxygen-dependent variety, cannot function. A different group takes over, anaerobic bacteria, which break down organic matter through a process called anaerobic digestion. The primary byproduct of that process is methane, the same gas used to heat homes, cook food, and generate electricity on an industrial scale. Your body can literally become cooking fuel. This occurs naturally in swamps, landfills, lake beds, ocean floors. Humans have learned to replicate it artificially in closed systems called biodigesters, where organic material is broken down under controlled conditions to produce biogas at scale. A single adult human body contains sufficient organic energy to yield a measurable volume of methane. ELL leave the exact figures unstated because they are simultaneously striking and unsettling. The carbon dioxide released as a byproduct is reabsorbed by surrounding vegetation, which uses solar energy to convert it into new organic tissue, closing the loop entirely. Verdict: clean, efficient, and industrially applicable. The most contemporary method on the list. Approved. 4. Composting, the most lasting environmental impact, the slowest of the fast-track processes, and the one with the most durable ecological legacy. Complete decomposition in nutrient-rich soil. Doesn't produce absence, it produces humus, one of the most energy-dense substances in the natural world. Humus is stabilized organic matter, the terminal product of biological breakdown. It retains moisture, releases nutrients gradually, and creates the optimal conditions for plant life. It is, in functional terms, stored energy in the form of fertilizers. A tree rooted in soil where a body has fully composted absorbs those nutrients through its root system. Those nutrients power photosynthesis, the conversion of solar radiation into chemical energy stored in wood, leaves, and fruit. The original energy from that body, which came from food consumed across an entire lifetime, transfers to soil, then to tree, then to fruit, then to every animal that eats that fruit. A growing practice called natural organic reduction, already legalized in several countries, deliberately accelerates this process, transforming a human body into roughly 70 kilograms of rich compost material suitable for direct soil or forest application. You become a tree. Literally. Verdict: the highest long-term environmental return of any method listed. Conceptually perfect. Deeply approved. We say thermal energy bioluminescence referenced in transition. These segments address combustion-based heat release in the rare biochemical conditions under which decomposing organic matter produces visible light, both legitimate energy transfer mechanisms in the broader cycle. 7. Fossil fuel. The 300 million year plan, the most audacious pathway of all. Under specific geological conditions, the right pressure, the right temperature, the right sedimentary depths, sustained across hundreds of millions of years, organic matter doesn't just decompose. It transforms. Complex protein in fat molecules fracture and reassemble into simpler hydrocarbons, the molecular building blocks of crude oil. Depending on formation conditions, the result is liquid petroleum, natural gas, or coal. The fuel currently powering cars, aircraft, and power stations worldwide is composed of the organic remains of organisms that lived between 300 and 400 million years ago. Every time an engine turns over, ancient energy is being released. Could you participate in that process? At a vanishingly small scale technically, yes. The real constraint isn't the time, it's geology. Not every location provides the correct conditions for hydrocarbon formation. But with careful selection of a final resting site and active sedimentary basin, the right geological package, it is not physically impossible. Verdict: the most ambitious long-term legacy plan ever conceived. Entirely impractical within any human timeframe. Completely irresistible as a concept. Approved without reservation. 7 methods, 7 pathways, 1 law. Microbial decomposition universal. Forms the surrounding soil food chain. Your energy distributes across dozens of other leaves. Biogas, pure methane, capable of fueling a stove. Composting, you become a tree. Literally thermal energy, immediate heat release. Escalability, urban use, bioluminescence, you become light. In a dark forest, fossil fuel, the 300 million year endgame. The scientific conclusion is straightforward. Energy does not disappear. The first law of thermodynamics guarantees it. Energy only changes form, changes location, changes name. Everything you are right now, every calorie, every molecule, every carbon atom in your body existed long before you. It was part of stars, part of oceans, part of other living things, and it will continue to exist long after. You are not a period at the end of a sentence. You are a comma inside a cycle that has no beginning and no end. And that, tell me, is more comforting than almost anything else.